Wow, Merry Christmas to those who observe.
Yeah.
Catch yourself, yeah.
And I guess happy holidays to everybody. I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, no, like let's just cut that out.
What if our thing was just to like sort of take a hard fox turn on the war on Christmas? Like that could be our little thing.
I love that.
It's already too many people's things. Let's be more original.
Yeah, we also don't have any. We have no holiday decor because Phoebe the cat would destroy it all.
She would.
So. Hello, welcome back to Faywatch. It's the season finale of Crescent City 2.
It's the season finale!
My gosh.
It's the season finale. It's sort of a season of change, generally speaking, because there are like all these bad people who are dying, like Henry Kissinger, and then there are these icons who are going through a kind of metamorphosis, like George Santos, and it's
Sometimes
just a lot.
You go places where I never expect you to go, but please go on. Take me wherever.
It's sort of like a turning of the page for many people in different figurative senses, and the same is true for us.
And of course, this vital, I think, really kind of cogent and thought-provoking hook that you've just offered will, of course, be approximately 3 weeks out of date by the time. But I'm sure it's Henry Kissinger and George Santos, live free in everybody's brains.
Well,
so
it'll be like the New Year-ish.
Isn't it going to be Christmas?
Whatever. Look,
well,
we shan't tarry further.
No.
Because we have a lot to wrap up and we really do. Of details to sort of align in our mind.
We got a lot of villain monologues to pour over,
Yeah. And so we chose the most detail-prone member of our little triumvirate to really make sure that we kind of nail it.
No, listen, I'm not saying I had a moment this morning where I was like, oh.
Yeah, Dina was like, should we have switched episodes?
No, wow. Rach, I respect your, some might call it disdain for action sequences.
Yeah. Well, any other feedback you guys want to give? Not me just out here.
No, first of all, you were the first amongst us to begin a PhD program in the Monsterverse. Right. So
let us truly, not forget.
I will kid, but you are ready. You were born for this moment,
You are born for this moment.
Yeah. Well, naturally, I don't have the end of the book as committed to memory as most of the other parts, because I don't listen to it.
You hate endings of books, yeah.
Right. And by the way,
but not even the last chapter.
Sometimes I have revisited the last chapter a couple times.
Okay.
I will say this is going to be a really fun episode, so let's make that very clear. But I will say, having to re-listen to the end of this book on 1.5 speed when I was doing a drive, I was literally screaming, crying, throwing up. I was having an ulcer. Like, I deserve monetary compensation for having to relive this for the sake of the pod.
Plus also a Nobel. Do we have another Nobel lying around? We've been giving them out to ourselves a lot lately, but I do think you deserve another one.
Yeah.
I do. So, but let's just get into it. Let's just do it. We left off last time. Our sweet night and day were tangling in the sheets of the mind beautifully. And, then afterwards he's like, yeah, anyways, we're going to the Crystal... What is it called? Is it the Crystal Palace?
The Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
Ew.
We're going to the Crystal Palace tomorrow, LOL. And she's like, what? And then she gets pulled away. And she's like, no, it's a trap. Don't. The dungeons. And she gets pulled away or whatever.
Yeah.
Rune's freaking out. Mm-hmm. He goes to Hunt and Bryce, and he's like, okay, well, now we're going anyways, but I'm going with you, and we gotta go save my new
We need
GF.
a detour also. We're adding a stop.
My new bae, my mind bae, we gotta go get her. And they start giving him shit. They're like, let me get this straight. You've started dating this girl. What, you've known her for like a month and you want to go save her? And
banging her, apparently.
Yeah, and he did fully fucking call them out. He was like, y'all were on this bullshit like 4 months ago. Okay?
Yeah.
How long did you know Hunt? How long did you know Bryce before you throwing yourself out of a helicopter on her?
Right.
So save it. And they were both kind of like, oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
I feel like a mind girlfriend or boyfriend is actually all I want You know, like just
Wow.
sort of like on demand. Like when you go to sleep, it's very efficient, but like there are not really necessarily other demands on your time. It sounds great.
Wow. You're just so busy. You're such a busy boy boss.
You should put that on your dating profile. The boys will love it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Also, it's even better, Will, because you would not be able to see them in your mind.
Well, this is, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. We're
Obviously,
speaking
this is
hypotheticals, we're
fantasy.
speaking hypotheticals. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So they're like, okay, fine. Sure. Add it to the list. Whatever. Cool. Fury drops off a map of the palace. Declan's gonna hack the security cameras in the palace and turn them away when Bryce is gonna be there.
Like, huge piece of any heist movie is the person who sits there slowly moving the cameras inch by inch so they can get, and you know, Ocean's 8, they do that, right? When they're like at the Met and they're in the bathroom and they slowly move the camera so that they're out of the angle.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Top notch. I love it. I'm here for it every time.
Declan, once again, playing a critical role. So thank you for your service, Deck. They're also like, we need to create a distraction for the Asteri
Oh my God,
while we're there.
Cracking up this whole time.
Cormac and Therion are going to do it. Cormac has heard that Pippa and her Lightfall squadron are planning a raid on this Pangeran lab. It's 20 miles from the Eternal City. And that's where the Asteri's mech suit
Yeah.
prototype thingy is. They're going to plant false intel that they're actually going to raid the facility like the other rebels.
Right. And they're going to like lure them to like do their plan earlier.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Bryce calls Juniper, leaves her a message, says she's sorry about everything and she loves her.
I do love that at this point, like there's one point where like Bryce just like forlornly like walks off into her bedroom and like looks at a photo and like Hunt comes and she's like, who am I? Like, what's the point?
Oh my God.
Like, so what are we going to do? Overthrow the Asteri? Like, and then what? And it's like, yeah, okay, yes, let's
Yes.
let's
No, it's
keep
so
those
funny.
brain cells a-cycling.
She's like, what's the end goal in this? And his response is, don't worry about that shit. We focus on the now. And it's like,
Yeah. No, like sweet dummy Hunt is like, no, like we don't have to figure it all out right now. All we have to do right now is just break into the Asteri's palace and then figure out later whether we want to overthrow the Asteri and what would replace it. Just once, you gotta eat the elephant one bite at a time, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's
Precisely.
like, don't worry, this worked out great last time I tried it. So just listen
Yeah.
to me.
Right, that's another thing he thinks at one point. He's like, wow, this is really starting to feel like the last rebellion. But I guess, fine.
yeah.
That's what happens when you
It's
fall
like,
in love. You have to rebel.
guys, like, what are we doing? But anyways, we're on this track. Hunt sneaks off to the barracks to fill up a duffel bag full of guns
Oh my
and
God.
get his helmet.
At 5, like in the morning, the most suspicious hour of the day.
Yeah, and get his
Yeah.
helmet that is like uniquely branded with his logo.
Right.
Right?
So everyone knows who he is.
Right. Unclear. And yeah, he's like going to the elevators with his duffel bag full of guns and runs into Celestina. Is like, hey, yeah, no, I'm just packing. Anyways, how are you?
He's
No
like, oh, I
worries,
couldn't
okay.
sleep, like, blah,
He's
blah,
like,
blah.
how's your like procreation effort going?
Yeah. He
Oof.
never should have crossed her because she has a real vendetta now.
Yeah.
As we shall discover, but we'll talk about that later.
Can I just say, like, she obviously knows exactly what he's doing. Like, I don't know. She's saying things like, I hope that if you need an ally, you'll come to me. And he says something like, oh, well, like old habits, because he like bows to her or something, but he doesn't have to because he's a prince. And so he was like, oh, like old habits. And she looks at him and she's like, indeed. Which to me is
Yikes.
basically like, yeah, dude, she fucking knows that you're doing rebel shit.
Also because her lover is Pax. And
No,
but
is
I don't-
read in.
I still don't know if we know. I don't think we know if Hypaxia told her anything. I think Hypaxia didn't.
Hypaxia
Oh.
did not.
Well, do we know
Celestina
that
just-
for sure?
Yes. Yeah. Celestina
Yeah.
just has known about this since he said he was going to visit Bryce's parents.
Yeah, she knew he lied.
Like it turns out in the end she knew the whole time and she like has been reporting him.
Yeah.
So fuck you, Celestina.
Wow.
yeah.
Pax deserves better. I'm gonna say
I think
it.
so too. And honestly,
Let's just
I don't
talk about
think
it now.
Pax would do that.
I think it's fine. Celestina's like, these are fucking morons. Like, I'm
but
just taking care of my own.
But does she have to report them? Or can she just do what all the other adults are doing?
No, because, like, if they find out that she knew, if they found out what she knew, you know.
I know, but I want her to be on the team, and she's not.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I think she'll get on the team later.
Celestina. She better redeem herself or something. But I think Hypaxia, until further notice, I think Hypaxia deserves better. Because Hypaxia seems like a real one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are no other lesbians left, so.
Well, maybe next book.
One can hope. One can dream.
Right.
What if
More.
Pax met Moore?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Could happen. I think more is slated to be with someone else, but we shall talk about that.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, but we gotta go
in our next
Hunt
season.
Said,
Hint,
Rachel, as Hunt said,
yeah,
we gotta just go.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta focus on the elephant. One by okay.
We gotta
we're
focus
back
on the challenge in front of us before we worry about how we're gonna overthrow the government.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Excellent. You're right.
Lesbians.
With lesbians, yeah. We'll get to that when we get to it. Okay, excellent. Okay, so Cormac teleports Bryce, Hunt, and Rune to the castle or the palace or whatever the fuck in the Eternal City. Okay. Mm-hmm. Before they make their move, because Cormac has to take them one at a time. Mm-hmm. Rune tells Bryce that he thinks it's time for the Autumn King's reign to end, and he wants to back Bryce in a coup.
Rune gets laid in his mind once, and all of a sudden has more confidence.
Yeah. That is all he needed, someone to believe in him.
Yeah. Oh.
And when Cormac is teleporting Bryce, he says, Rune's right. She's a queen. She should be queen. And he realizes the Oracle didn't mean union in the sense of marriage. He meant in the sense of them being allies. It's going to benefit their people. And
they're mingling.
Yeah, they're mingling. And so they get to the palace, and then Bryce is going to teleport into the archives in the palace. Mm-hmm. And Hunt and Rune are hanging out, waiting for her. Mm-hmm. Now, Bryce, this is where we get a little off track.
Yeah.
Leave it to Bryce.
Yep.
Bryce does the thing she's supposed to do first, which is she's in the archives. She's in this long hallway. She's seeing pipes, crystal pipes shooting upward into the ceiling. And there are 7 pipes, and they have little placards next to them.
This is the room with the sequence. Like, she goes into the room with the sequence number that they found. That Sophie went into. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Okay, so in this room, there's all the crystal pipes.
Right. And there are little placards that say, like, Rigulus power level 65%. So basically the stereo are like wee little iPhones.
Yeah, they're little iPhones.
Yeah, so it turns out, this is what Sophie found out, the Asteri, need first light and second light. That's the source of their power. They're not like inherently all powerful, apparently. They're just
they're not
sucking
like
up all that first light
with all this power. They're going slurp, slurp, slurp on everybody else's power.
They're sitting on their, what are those things called?
Thrones.
No,
Diocese.
Oh.
No, but like, what's the wireless charging technology?
Charging pad
their little
something.
key, what's it called? QI? I don't know. Well, yeah, those are their thrones.
They're little like charging decks. Okay.
Yeah, they're little charging docks.
Docks, yeah.
Do you think they have to, like, I have to take the case off my phone to do it? Do you think they have to be naked on the throne to, like,
just like pants
boost
off?
up?
Yeah. Hopefully we'll find out.
But Will, can I ask now, would you like to issue a notes app apology, or do you still think this is not a big deal because they're also giving them roads?
I was thinking about this.
And streetlights.
I think it is true, though, that some of the power gets used for streetlights and such, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
so I would have some amendments on where I would redirect the power, but I think the general system of the collecting of the energy is
of non-consensual collecting of energy and lying to people about where they go when they die.
Are you talking? Yeah, that's fine. I'm not. You don't get to consent to death. Sorry.
Wow. A stereopologist over here.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, I just want slight tweaks to the system. I'm like a little centrist. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Will's going to be luring people into other worlds with the promise of peace and prosperity, only to create his like well-run policy neighborhood.
A carbon-free economy.
Wow.
It's great.
Amazing. Love that for you. So this is the big revelation, and it turns out, so if they can like disconnect the Asteri from their first light source, and they can defeat them. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
That's pretty good stuff. It's like, okay, we got a plan.
But apparently that's not enough for Bryce. No. She's like, well, I'm already here. Look at all these doors. Look at all these books.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. I'm curious.
Yep.
And I'm running out of time, but I'm going to keep looking.
Yeah, I gotta pop into a couple more rooms, gonna see what's up, gonna see what's happening, gonna happen to see if these rooms are maybe perhaps named after the secret files that I have found that I've been wondering what was in them. Maybe I'll just run into one of those.
Yeah, and what do you know? It turns out, yes. So she's running around looking at shit, blah, 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 who can say, and she sees a door with the word dusk on it. And she's like, oh, dusk's truth. Mm-hmm. Plus, I'm obviously the queen of I'm the high lady of the dusk court. Yeah. Mm-hmm. TBD.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a hot sec.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand at all, but that's fine.
Oh, well,
okay,
don't worry.
Fine.
We'll walk you through it. We'll hold your hand.
Don't worry.
Through it. Yeah.
She enters the room. There's a round table with 7 seats around it. There's a projector orrery or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And vocab test, orrery, folks, classmates, is the map of all the worlds. So there's all the universes, all the worlds.
Yeah. And there's just all these, like, you know, fucking maps of planets and constellations and solar systems and shit. And she sees, like, a solar system. Well, I guess it's not a solar system, but, like, a whatever she doesn't know.
Planet. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like a system of them, but I don't know if they're solar.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Good point.
I think they have to be.
Yeah, okay, sure. So, yeah, that. And so there's, like, notes on the walls of, like, ooh, like, this planet, the children were really tasty, but, like, we couldn't conquer it forever. And, like, this planet tried to conquer, but inhospitable, but, like, yummy children.
Or, like, they figured us out too quick, and, like, we ended up having to leave. Or, like, this one, we tried to feed off them, but, like, they weren't that tasty, so we left.
Right. She finds the Midgard map. Listen, it says some year that it was conquered. She doesn't really know what the year is. It says Midgard is the most ideal location, or like an ideal location, but the indigenous life is not lifing, so it'd be good for colonization.
Basically, because there's only humans there, right? So there's only humans there. They can't feed off the humans, but what they can do is bring other people in, which is what they did.
Right. So let's... Yeah, did you miss that?
Yeah,
Will?
I did.
They were like, let's... So basically, they got a bunch of other, like, fae species on other planets and tried to convince them. They're like, oh, it's, like, really cool there. You should go try to colonize it or whatever. But actually, what they were doing was getting all of them to go so that they could colonize them.
You want to get some candy in this van? We got some of the best candy in this van if you just come with me into this unmarked van.
Right, basically that. Also finds hell, and turns out, again, listen, the short version, I believe, is it turns out they tried to conquer hell, but the Hellions, my terminology, fought them off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did the Hellions fight them off, but they weren't content with that. They're like, no, they're fucking with these people on Midgard. We should go warn the people on Midgard, and we should go help them, blah, blah, blah. So it turns out, this whole time,
Hell's good.
Yep.
Hell's good.
Wow.
Hell's good. And hell has the fucking audacity to not just save themselves. They went and they fucking helped.
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah. Hot. We love it. They help them close the gates, right? Is what they do too. So, like, they don't beat them out of Midgard, but they at least close their gates so that they can't go get anybody else.
Maybe.
That's like,
I mean, I know Thea, like,
yes,
Princess Queen Thea and her daughters close some kind of gate or something.
That's basically what they do, is they close the rift so that they can't go bother anybody else. But they still have, like, the score to settle with them.
But so the Asteri, though, are trapped, we learn at some point.
Exactly.
Like, they are trapped on Midgard.
Yeah.
And seeking a way out.
Yes. Which that's why they say they like have all those mystics below to like try to figure out like how to get out or if there's others like them out there in other places or whatever.
All of that, big download, and, you know, taking her sweet time reading all these Cliff's Notes about all these planets, and then Rigelus comes over the intercom. He's like, hey, Bryce. Hey. Thank you for falling into my trap. And she's like, why do you do this? Why do you eat the first light and all that? And he's like, well, we're gods. We're higher beings. And we can't be blamed for how we get
and this
our
is like
nutrition.
The villain monologue world building history dump to end all villain monologue world building history dumps of all time. Like, we get so much fucking information here. I was reading it over and I was like, okay, I actually couldn't remember like half the shit I thought I got from like TikToks or something. But he actually just like,
it's, like,
straight
all
up
in
says
there.
so much
says
of
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's one point where she's even like, I already got this from Micah. And he's like, lol, like, there's so much more. Just hang tight.
Well, there's so much. You know what?
Okay, tell me some of the big ones.
Okay. Oh, okay. Rigelus, this has all been a large ruse and a plot to get Bryce to come here or whatever, because he wants to use the horn to open the rifts.
Right.
Okay.
Right. He needs a way to like open the gates to other worlds, and her little back tattoo, her tramp stamp is the way.
Here's where I will issue a no-tap apology, because I think we had all, but maybe me foremost among us, been giving Bryce and Hunt shit for their constant thinking that like this little legal system might protect them and like they will be able to like survive because of the legal system. And he's literally like, yeah, I had to trap you because if I just came and took you, you know, we'd get in trouble with the legal system or something.
No, but I think it was mostly like, you guys are too public of figures. And so like too many people would ask questions.
Like, who would do anything, you know?
Yeah. No, it's still a little bit like, did you really? I feel like he probably could have just.
He's probably just bored. He's like, I can trap these people. Let's just do it.
Yeah. Do a fun little ruse. He also says her ancestors wielded the horn and another Fey object. Eyebrow raise.
See, this is why, Rach. This is why. Announcement coming right now. For those of you who haven't seen, we are covering. How do you say it? Akasif.
Yeah. Akasif.
Court of Silver Flames after this, because Boy Boss does not know what the other object is.
And Boy Boss has not read it.
And Boy Boss has not read it. And so we're going to all read it together so that we can be up to fucking date.
When CC3 drops.
Yeah. And I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. What? Why? But yeah, that's why. And we will return to the rest of the Akatar series one day.
Yeah.
But look, we have like a couple episodes between this episode and CC3 release, baby. Yep. So we had to fit like one book in there. And we thought, let's get chaotic. We got to brush up on our SJM lore, and we got to brush up on our spicy hot pepper.
Yes.
Pepper. Okay. So that's what's happening next.
Yeah, we got to know what's happening plot-wise, and also maybe reread the headboard scene like 10 more times. Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, Anyway,
we digress.
Can you tell the part about the prototypes? Because that, like, fucking blew my mind.
It. You go ahead.
Okay, great. So
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
I definitely could if I wanted to.
No, you could. You're bestowing the opportunity upon me, and for that, I am so grateful. So when Rigelus, or whatever, who again in my mind is the kid from Umbrella Academy, is telling her about her ancestors and how they wielded the horn and another Fey object that allowed them to enter this world, stolen, of course, from their original masters, our people. Our people who built fearsome warriors in that world to be their army, all of them prototypes for the angels in this one. Can you think of another world where there are people who appear to be prototypes for the angels? Will?
No.
Oh my God. The Illyrians. The Illyrians. Nobody knows where the Illyrians come from.
The bats.
Why
the
they're
Bat
different.
Boys.
Bat Boys.
The Bat Boys.
Okay.
Yeah. If you think about it, they have the wings, but their wings are different. Their power works differently. They were basically bred to be an army.
I fully take your word for it.
Okay, all of them prototypes for the angels in this one, and all of them traitors to their creators, joining the Fae to overthrow my brothers and sisters 1,000 years before we arrived on Midgard. They slew my siblings. So the Illyrians and the Fae together overthrew the Asteri in the Akatar world and got rid of them. And the Asteri are still fucking pissed about it, even more than they're pissed at Hell. Like, they really want to go after this world because they, I don't know, beat them.
Yeah.
Her people are basically from Prithian, whatever the planet is there. Yeah. And that's what we're thinking, you know. Which, again, it's not confirmed.
Do we know? It says that he tells her, he's like, and in case you're like really specifically interested, your ancestors are from this little island, like
off the mainland.
Something, yeah, and that's Akatar Island.
So I actually wasn't sure if he meant like that's Prithian or that's like where the Dusk Court specifically is.
Yeah, like it's
because
the
he
Dusk
says
Court
it's bathed in twilight
island.
forever, like at all times, which is dusk.
Yeah,
and we haven't been to Dusk in Akatar.
I don't think
there's some theory that it's like a
right?
mountain. It's like one of those mountains. I don't know. The prison. It's like maybe the prison. I don't know. But we
nobody lives
we
there.
haven't had
like,
it
nobody
confirmed.
has it, right?
Yeah. There's no current Dusk Court.
Okay.
Are you getting it, Will?
That has like a ruler.
Are you on board? Are you here?
No, I'm so on board.
Okay,
are you on board? Okay. Also, Danica, with all of her history projects, was researching and realized that her people, the Shifters, are actually Fae, and they come from a different planet where all the Fae in that world share their form with an animal.
Which, again, I thought I got from a TikTok theory, but they say specifically.
No, it's in there. I know. It's funny. You're like, oh, no, this is in the text. Yeah. She's from TOG world.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. I do remember the first time I read this book. It's really hard to pay attention to the details because you're kind of stressed at this point.
Right.
Exactly.
It's
well, that's
so
why
clear
also.
That everyone is getting fucked. And you're just like, oh.
No, yeah. That's so true.
The other thing I didn't even realize until I read it this time for us to talk about it was that Danica's whole kind of like bloodhound scenting thing, it isn't just like a shifter scenting thing. It's her having magic. And that's what's so rare about it because they bred the magic part out of them when they were like removing them from the Fae, but she somehow still had some kind of magic.
Okay.
Because shifting is not magical.
It is, but this is why you need to read Throne of Glass, Will, because the Fae and Throne of Glass, they all shift, but they also have access to usually some kind of like elemental magic.
I see.
Fire, wind.
We can't, this is what we know. This is not all of it. This is not all the things we get in the villain monologue, but this is what you're getting. Yeah. Okay, people?
It's a lot. Like, it's...
Yeah, we kind of learn a lot there. Hey? Okay. Bryce teleports back to Hunt. Rune has already run off to find Day. We'll check in with him in a sec. He's not doing great. Hunt is there on his knees, hands behind his head, bound with Gorsian manacles, and the harpy's there. So we're fucked.
Boo.
We're fucked. Now, quick aside. Meanwhile, Cormac and Therian. Okay, Cliff's notes.
Quick aside for the other shit show where multiple people are dying.
Oh, right. Yeah. They sneak into the lab. Cormac starts wigging out and killing a lot of people there. And Therian's like, oh, I thought we weren't going to like...
I thought we were going to keep the body count to a minimum.
Yeah, no. Pippa shows up. They're facing off. Cormac's like, get out of here, bro. And eventually Therian does, because also Therian needs to get in the water because he's going to lose his wee tail. And 5 of the Asteri arrive, and then Cormac erupts into a ball of fire, killing, presumably, Pippa, melting the mech suit, and maybe dying, ?
It sounds like he's dead.
Yeah, I think he's trying to kill the Asteri because they're there too, right?
Right, so he just, like, blows it all up.
But, like, doesn't he know that's not going to happen?
He kind of decided he was going to...
He's like out. He's like, I'm done.
He was kind of going.
Wait, Rach, am I hearing correctly? Are you a Cormac is alive truther?
I think we haven't seen a body yet.
I agree. No, I agree. We have not seen a body.
Was he shot also?
Yeah, but just in the shoulder, and he's Fae.
Okay.
I think he was shot a couple more times, but still, like, Ethan just got his throat ripped out, and
I
he
forgot
was fine
about that. He was fine. Yeah.
Anyways, good times.
So Therian is just like fleeing, basically.
Yeah, he flees. He's got to get back. Bryce and Hunt get brought to the wee little torture cell. Rune is there. Rune got caught by Mordok.
Not
And
cozy
Mordok
vibes
is like
in the little torture cell.
It's not cozy.
No.
Not cozy at all. Opposite of cozy. And Mordok is like, yeah, you fucking dipshits. Like, I know what you've been doing this whole time. I've been following you around.
Yeah.
And I know what you smell like.
Like, remember I smelled you and I have the best scenting in the entire
He's like,
world.
you are the stupidest people I've ever had to catch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He does note that his interest in Hunt is related to the fact that Hunt's scent is wrong. He doesn't smell like an angel. So, do with that what you will.
Yep.
Mordok leaves. The harpy comes and she's gonna, knife Rune or whatever, torture Rune.
Yeah, I think she's like jealous that the hind is going to do it. And so she's like, let me have some fun first.
Yeah, but then the hind runs in and is like, Nor.
Beheads her.
And then, they behead the harpy. And Rune realizes that Day is the hind, is Lydia.
Yep. He like smells her. And I was wondering this, like he can kind of smell like his scent on it. You know how like the scents like merge?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So even though they only fucked in their minds, he could still like smell that she smelled like him.
It's got some notes of Rune.
Yeah. Also, her harpy beheading was like kind of epic. It was like a 1, 2, 3. Like all of a sudden that bitch had no head. Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, Rune, I guess you have to get over the fact that she's like, the foremost torturer of the Asteri. But like, how hot was that? Look what she just did for you. Get over it.
Also, like, you're a cop. I don't know.
Yeah. But he's not.
Like, we're talking degrees, my friend.
Yeah.
He's really feeling huffy. He like puts up his mental walls and he's like, Nor.
Yeah. He has like his iron walls in his mind and she's like banging against them.
Yeah, and maybe it would be a good time to be in mental communication with her.
Right?
As like you're being marched to your doom.
Mm-hmm. Right. And he's like, oh, you killed Sophie. She's like, I didn't kill Sophie. I tried to save her, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff with the stones dropping. I forgot that she also just tells us later that that's what happened. I thought it was really smart. I figured it out.
I had that moment too. I was like, oh, we're not smart. She literally tells us that point blank. Cool.
Yeah. So she hears Pollux coming. So she's like, oh, Bryce, you got to make it look like convincing. Like make it look like they're attacking her. So Bryce is like, cool. And she decks Lydia.
They were brawling. They're like rolling in the harpy's blood. Honestly, kind of hot of both of them.
You continue to sort of have a different... Your reaction to sort of some of these things isn't something that I would say like is also my reaction, but like I am happy for you.
You're like, it is concerning, and I do want to report you to get some help, but
I do. But
no, but doesn't she also like she had taken off some of their manacles, but then she put them back on? Yeah,
she like slips Bryce the key.
Yeah,
tale as old as time, honestly. To pretend to have your hands bound.
And it looks like Rune thinks he maybe sees Lydia whisper something in Bryce's ear.
There's a lot of whispering. Doesn't someone else whisper?
There's a lot of whispering happening.
Yeah. Well, okay. So then they get brought up to the throne room. Only Rigelus is there because everybody else is at the
they got to meet
or whatever. Daddy, teenage boy, Rigelus. Teenage daddy. Anyways, there's a gate. There's a quartz gate that they pass. So she's like, oh, that's a gate.
Oh, interesting. There's a gate right there.
Yeah. So they're in the throne room. Baxian and Mordok enter. And Bryce starts talking about like what she learned basically so that everyone else would know. And like, I guess Declan's watching, so maybe he'll see too. And she's like, yeah, they eat the first light. That's how they, are powered, blah, blah, blah. Rigelus is like, shut up. Or something. I don't know.
He's like, oh, is that your way of telling your friends? Like, as if you're getting out of here alive?
Yeah.
It seems everyone is coming to the realization that, I mean, obviously she's the only one that can create interdimensional portals or whatever. But like because she knows so much, she thinks to herself, she's like, oh, I wouldn't save myself, but like I have to save myself. Like,
right.
People must know.
She has to get out with the info.
Yeah.
Oh, and Rigelus is also like, oh, P.S. I knew about Cormac the whole time. P.S. I was the cat. It wasn't the other guy.
Yeah.
Which I will say, I was like, surely he must know about Cormac. Like, I don't know. So that made sense to me. It's like, obviously they know everything that everybody's doing.
Anyways, so revelation. And then Bryce is like, okay, if I open the rifts for you or whatever, you have to let Rune and Hunt go. And he's like, deal. And so he's like, you can say goodbye now. And so she hugs Hunt. Oh. And then they like whisper the plan.
Oh, there's a point. I think it's like when they're in the elevator on their way up, they're like kind of holding hands. And he's like, and that was the last time I held my mate's hand.
I know. And
that was really sweet.
I love you. I wish I'd said it more, but I love you, Quinlan. And our love is stronger than time, greater than any distance. Our love spans across stars and worlds. I will find you again, I promise.
Oh,
wow.
I'm such a sucker for like a statement of love that is about like span. Like, you know, when... Rachel, I won't ruin it for Will, but like when somebody in another series says like, I would find you in any world kind of thing. Like, I'm here
Mark
for it every
would
time.
never.
It makes me feel really cozy and safe, you know?
Yeah, no, my boyfriend Mark would never.
I'm not going to another world for someone either, to be
If
honest.
I passed into another world, he'd be like, well, that's like out of my hands.
We'd come find you because we would still need to record the podcast.
Yeah,
we would for sure find you, and we would make slightly better decisions.
And so while she's hugging them, she also like gives them the key to unlock their manacles or whatever the fuck. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Rune is like, you need to be queen, and he tells her to take the star sword when she goes. Mm-hmm. And then he says, "Long live the queen," and that's like the
my heart.
Signal. Yeah. So she grabs star sword, blasts Rigulus, starts running for the portal. Hunt is blasting, you know. Everybody's
like,
blasting.
Everyone's doing their thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
I think Baxian is like tackling Mordok to like get him out of the way. Shit's going down.
But the Hind is not. The Hind is still pretending, right?
I actually think Baxian knocked her out, and so I think she's luckily unconscious.
Right, but her cover's not been blown.
No. Yeah.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
Bryce is running. Rigulus is hot on her tail.
It's a very long hallway, we should have said. They did make note that it is a very long hallway.
Oh, yeah, it's like 70-foot hallway or something. She's running. He's on her tail. He's almost getting her. He's almost snatching that ponytail. But she gets to the portal. There was also something, and no, I'm not going to... I didn't care enough to sort of really revisit the text and get the details right, but there is also something in Rigelus's villain monologue speech when he's like, your star is like a beacon to your homeland.
Oh my god, yes!
So it'll whatever. And so I think, like, I don't know. There's something about, like, Hunt, like, the power hits her star, and, like, it hits the horn, too, but it hits the star or something, and, like, that's why she goes to Prithian.
Instead of hell, which was her intention.
Right, so she thinks she's going to hell, but this makes so much sense. I thought she just, like, ended up in Prithian, because maybe, like, that's where she was from, or whatever, coincidence. But, yeah, it's basically, like, Hunt's power
I thought
is,
she
like,
just
a
dialed
map
wrong.
Or, like, a...
Yeah,
like a dial pad. Yeah.
Oh, but also, like, spoiler alert, big reveal, we kind of just, like, anticlimactically did it. So you didn't hear that. If you're
you
Kevin...
didn't hear it. Just, like, stay with us.
Or you're Queen Christina, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know anything.
Okay. 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So, yeah. No spoilers. So she goes through the gate, weird, whatever, and then she, like, lands. Oh, now we're here, guys. We're here.
And now we're in hell, but funny enough... There's this
beautiful
green grass. There's this like gorgeous river, and there's like a city that like weirdly like seems so familiar to me personally.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous manicured green grass, and she's on the ground, and then this
like an estate
of an estate, and then this beautiful creature with wings of a demon,
and like scaled armor and. Hazel eyes, I believe.
Scarred hands,
a sick knife.
Wait, so which one is this? It's a bad boy.
Azrael.
It's Azrael, yeah.
Okay.
But we don't know that yet.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, can you believe this? We're finally here.
Oh my God.
We've been waiting for this for like 1900,000 years. So Batman is there, but she doesn't say they're Batwing. She's just like, oh, it's like he looks like a demon, but he's like a hot demon.
Right.
And he's speaking to her, but she doesn't understand his language, and he apparently doesn't understand hers.
She's like, take me to Adis. I need Adis. Find me Adis. And I really like the moment where she says like, Because, like, it feels like she's like, is he going to kill me? And then she's like, it sounds like he's just, like, exasperated or, like, kind of annoyed with me right now.
Yeah,
which is, like,
he's just annoyed.
So much, like, I don't know, like, inner circle vibes. You know what I mean? You could hear him being like, oh, fucking A. Like, I thought I was going to have, like, a chill day today or something. And now, like, this girl covered in blood showed up on the lawn and is, like, yelling in another language.
On our front lawn.
Like, blood-stained Lululemon.
Yeah. Which they don't have yet.
Right.
He's like, what is this material?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, ooh, comfy.
Is it moisture wicking?
Yeah, because those Illyrian leathers are not moisture wicking, I can tell you.
No.
Then he scoops her, right?
He does. Wow, third scoop of the...
He blindfolds her.
Yes, he does.
And scoops her.
I will say, this is not written in any sexual way whatsoever, but now that we're talking about it, I'm like,
No, I mean, it kind of is, though.
I know. Like, I get
because
the shippers, because there are Bryce as real shippers
is Batman
out there.
Single?
Yes, Will. Oh my God. See, this is why we need to...
That's why we're reading Akas's
This is why we're doing it.
text. Get excited. There's a lot. There's a lot there.
Okay,
he's
single.
To unpack. Well, who can say it will?
Yeah. We're not telling you. You have to read.
Okay. It's not sexual, but isn't it? I mean, first of all, she's like, he's beautiful.
He's so beautiful. The blindfold in and of itself.
Yeah, but also when he puts on the blindfold, excuse me, I'm going straight to the text.
Oh, to the text we go.
The male's hands were gentle but thorough as he fitted it tightly over her eyes. Excuse me, gentle but thorough? Like,
Ooh. You know what I would love?
Wait,
Again,
who is the thorough lover from earlier?
we don't like him, Ephraim.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to associate with that.
No,
but I will
don't bring
say
that
We'll
into
disassociate.
it would be pretty cool. Sorry, Hunt, if we got like a redo of that scene with the blindfold, but it was actually a sexual scene.
yeah.
I'm ready for Hunt to
Listen,
go. He's served his time.
No, yeah, I'm putting that on my wish list for CC3.
I'm so torn. I don't know, guys. I'm torn.
Yeah.
So he flies her with her little blindfold on, takes her into a house or whatever, a building, puts her down in a chair. It smells like bread and roses.
Ugh.
He puts her down in this beautiful study, beautifully appointed study. Little decanter, little bar cart, gorgeous.
Library, like dark wood, like oak vibes, right? It's
yeah.
And it's like, oh, is this like a beautiful townhouse?
Yeah. And then
Will's
basically,
face at us right now.
Pied de terre.
yeah. And so basically, most of the inner circle walks in. So, but obviously Bryce doesn't know who they are. But I think it's definitely Amryn,
Yep.
Nesta, Cassian.
Yeah, I think because Nesta and Cassian walk in, and yeah, because she's like a woman with golden blonde hair, and then like somebody who like kind of looks like Azrael but is like bigger. And then when Amryn walks in, she's like, oh, and then another female walks in whose eyes looks like
Fury. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Wait, who looks like Fury?
Amryn. She doesn't understand the language that they're speaking. So she's like, fuck it, I'll try the old language of the Fae.
Because she knows one other language.
Yeah, old language of the Fae. And Amryn's like, what the fuck?
And Amryn like freaks out, and everybody's like, wait, we've never seen Amryn freak out before. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, and then Amryn looks at the sword, and then she talks to Az, and Az takes out his dagger, and it's like they're
Truthbringer?
Truth singer, maybe.
Truth singer. Okay.
Yeah. Shadow singer. I don't know.
No.
Whatever.
Unclear.
Anyways, his little matchy dagger. And then like the sword starts freaking out. And the knife, I don't know. They're having a moment, the sword and the knife.
Yeah, because they're twins. Remember back like 7 episodes ago where Bryce was like,
Oh, I wonder if it has like a twin
Rude
dagger
has the
that goes with
sword.
it.
Maybe there's a knife for me somewhere.
Yeah. Amryn responds in the old language of the Fae and says, nobody has spoken this language in 15,000 years. And I don't know who Adis is, and you're not in hell, babe.
Yep.
Then this really hot guy walks in who looks exactly like Rune. She's like, Rune?
That blew my mind when that happened.
That was wild.
Yeah, it was really wild.
And that's
Reese.
Reese. Wow.
It's Reese. And he looks exactly like Rune to the extent that Bryce was like, oh, Rune? What?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and Feyre comes in. And she's like, my mate's in grave danger, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, what's your name? And she's like, Bryce. And then he's like, hello, Bryce. My name is Rhysand.
And that is how that fucking book ends, leaving millions of people in suspense for what? How long? Years? Multiple years?
2 years. I looked. It came out February 22, so it'll be almost 2 years. And there is an epilogue, but whatever.
Ethan gets the wolf. That's sort of it.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, wow. Man. I mean, wow. What could you possibly love more than a multiverse of like all your fucking favorite characters?
Yeah.
That really was crazy. Like, I mean, it's been 2 years. It hasn't been 2 years for you since you read it.
No, I read it this summer and I was like losing my mind for like a month. And again, you guys were like, we'll talk about it later. So we're talking about it now.
Well, but then we're also going to talk about it later because we have 5 episodes.
That's true. Yeah, well, we're going to keep revisiting this on our ACOSF journey.
I just feel like we can use that as a way to like process.
Yeah,
you know?
to like study, process.
No, we have so much processing to do. We have so much studying to do. We have like I'm going to be even more excited. Excitement's only going to build, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, Will, that you're going to find there's something in ACOSF that's very special. I mean, for all of us. Well, maybe for you and me more so than Dina.
Wow.
But there is something that is so considerable. That it actually breaks precedent.
Yeah.
Wow.
The most considerable.
I want you to know that.
You know what we didn't learn about Rune?
How big his peen was.
Good point.
His considerableness was not really mentioned.
Wow, maybe we have an average sized king on our hands.
Finally found him.
I mean, guys, certainly not.
No, I know. We don't.
But I will say there's no way it compares to the most considerable of all considerables. That you will get to know intimately, Will.
And I'm sorry that I should have issued a spoiler warning about that, but
we didn't say who it was or what's happening.
No.
Nobody knows.
Just that there exists somewhere in the Maasiverse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Oh my God. This is so great.
Wow. So we have ACOSF, and then we're gonna have we'll give everybody more details about like our when to expect our first CC3 ep, but we're gonna try to have it pretty quick.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna be like, wow, it's gonna be a journey. I'm really scared, but I'm excited. Well, at least we'll be together.
We shall.
Yes.
It's gonna be probably
together.
A journey.
And now again, we're caught up with CC World. We're going to read Silver Flames, get caught up with ACOTAR World, and then we're going to be like ready to dive right in. Yeah. And have our minds blown and our hearts broken in so many ways.
It's going to be so fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, actually, sadly, not sadly. I mean, it is what it is. Don't be too sad about it. We will be taking a little break for the holidays. So we should tell you now, we're going to be back in the new year with ACOSF. So we want you to really get cozy. Listen to these episodes that we've made again. Listen to them again.
Yeah. Also do a little
revisit
Silver
your favorites.
Flames reread. You deserve it. You deserve it.
And try not to miss us too much. We will miss you though.
Sweet.
Okay.
Wow.
Until then.
I feel like we should hug or something.
I know.
And that's a wrap on another season of Faywatch.
See you next time, folks.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.